Hare Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Givarhari Gopijana Vallabha Givarhari Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Givarhari Gopijana Vallabha Givarhari Vishnuranandam Bhajanarandana Vishnuranandana Bhajanarandana Aminatira Vartari Aminatira Vartari Armavo Kunjabihari Armavo Kunjabihari Gopijana Vallabha Givarhari Gopijana Vallabha Givarhari Vishnuranandana Bhajanarandana Yoranandana Bhajanarandana Aminatira Vartari Aminatira Vartari Admarava Kunjabihari Jaya Madhava Kunjabihari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter 6, text 3. Aha, Anpravishta Bhagavan Cheshta Rupena Tam Ganam Hinam Samyojayam Asa Sutam Dharma Bodhayan So Nupravishta Bhagavan Cheshta Tam Ganam Nam Samyojayamasa Suttam Karma Prabodhayan Sonapavishto Bhagavan Cheshta Rupena Tanganam Enam Samyojayamasa Suttam Karma Prabodhayan Sonapavishto Bhagavan Cheshta Rupena Tanganam Enam Samyojayamasa Suttam Karma Prabodhayan
Cheshta Tena Kangana Dinang Sangyojayam Asa Suptam Karma Prabodhayan Sonu Pravishto Bhagavam Cheshta Rupena Tam Ganam Dinam Samyojayamasa Suptam Karma Prabodhayan Sonu Pravishto Bhagavam Cheshta Rupena Tam Ganam Dinam Sanyojayamasa Sutta Karma Prabodhayan Sonu Pravisto Bhagavan Dinam Sanyojayamasa Suptam Karma Prabodhayan Sonu Pravisto Bhagavam Cheshta Rupena Tamganam Dinam Samyojayamasa Suptam Karma Prabodhayan Sonu Pravishto Bhagavam Chista Rupena Tamganam Binham Samyojayamasa Suktam Karma Prabodhayan Sonu Pravishto Bhagavam Chesta Rupena Tamganam Pinam Samyojayam Asa Suktam Karma Prabodhayan
That. Anupravishtaha. Thus, entering later on. Bhagavan, personality of Godhead. Cheshta Rupena, by his representation of attempt, Kali. Representation, excuse me. By his representation of attempt, Kali. Tam, them. Ganam, all the living entities, including the demigods. Binam, separately. Samyojam, asa, engaged in work. Suptam, sleeping. Karma, work. Bodhayan, enlightening. Translation. Thus, when the personality of Godhead entered into the elements by his energy, all the living entities were enlivened into different activities, just as one is engaged in his work after awakening from sleep.
Every individual soul remains unconscious after the dissolution of the creation and thus enters into the Lord with his material energy. These individual living entities are conditioned souls everlastingly, but in each and every material creation, they are given a chance to liberate themselves and become free souls. They are all given a chance to take advantage of the Vedic wisdom and find out what is their relationship with the Supreme Lord, how they can be liberated, and what the ultimate profit is in such liberation. By properly studying the Vedas, one becomes conscious of his position and thus takes to the transcendental devotional service of the Lord and is gradually promoted to the spiritual sky. The individual souls in the material world engage in different activities according to their past unfinished desires. After the dissolution of a particular body, the individual soul forgets everything, but the all-merciful Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart as the witness, the supersoul, awakens him and reminds him of his past desires, and thus he begins to act accordingly in his next life. This unseen guidance is described as fate, and a sensible man can understand that this continues his material bondage in the three modes of nature.
Yeah. Living entities get a chance, stay here, an opportunity to learn from Vedic knowledge at least once in their sojourn in this creation. That means they have to, it appears, apparently they have to have at least human birth once in that period. And because without having human intelligence, one wouldn't be able to understand Vedic knowledge. And from the Vedanta, that sutra begins, Tato Brahmajigasa. Now that you've reached the human form, you should inquire into the Brahman, to the spirit. So this is no one can say that there's partiality on the part of the Lord. He's made this arrangement to fulfill their desires. In one sense, the material world is to fulfill their desires, and the spiritual world is to fulfill their desires. Of course, ultimately, everything is fulfilling his desire. But this is his desire to have a big family. How many living entities are there? It's a big family. We like to have a big family too. Sometimes people have many children because they enjoy different relationships with all the children and the in-laws, relatives, friends. That's because Krishna is a person. He enjoys personal relationships. And he makes that available to the living entities. And if they want to try to imitate him in such relationships, they can try. But it doesn't work out so good because there's this time factor. And the Tirlani Kali, she keeps destroying everything. We make a relationship with father, and the father passes away. Grandfather and grandfather passes away. We like these relationships. They don't last. Everything's temporary. So we're supposed to learn from the Vedic knowledge. Veda Mata. Vedas are the mother. We have to get knowledge from the mother. In the beginning of life, when we take these bodies, mother is there to give us knowledge. Don't go there, go here. Don't eat that, eat this. So we're among those living entities that are stranded here in the material world. And we're destined to continue rotating, nityabala, eternally bound up in the cycle of birth and death, in the karma. This is described. Brother Brahma, as Brahma Samhita, he describes how from Indra Gopamata Vendra hosts the karma, beginning from Indra, the king of heaven, down to Indra Gopa, little germ. Everyone is taking their karma, their suffering, or enjoying according to their past deeds. Only the devotees, one who becomes a pure devotee, he's not subject to any more karma. Because he's no longer interested in the material world. There's no more desires to stay in the material world. The living entities are not forced to stay here against their will. Living entities are given this opportunity because that's what they want. Therefore, God cannot be blamed for the living entities having to stay in this material world. You can't blame God because he's just fulfilling our desire. Our desires. We have unlimited desires, and he gives an unlimited variety of circumstances to enjoy. Planets, different types of enjoyment, different types of bodies to enjoy, different circumstances. And beginning from the demigods, one can enjoy quite a bit. But that quite a bit is tempered with the fact that, relatively speaking, it may seem like a long time, or maybe it seems very special demigod enjoyment compared to lower species enjoyment. But actually, it's the same. We see that in that pastime where Indra gets cursed to become a hog, King of Heaven becomes a hog. But he became so attached to the hog life, he didn't want to go back. When the demigods came and said, All right, come now back. We need you in the heavenly planet. No, I'm not going to leave here. This is bliss. And my wife is here. The children. My home. Look at this. Beautiful place. Hogs don't live in very, very beautiful places, and their wives are not considered beautiful by anyone else. But that's how much illusion one can be in, that he can even think that this is the most beautiful woman, the most beautiful object in the whole universe. Or I can just enjoy with her forever. Well, you can't enjoy with her forever. What's the lifespan of a hog? Not very long. And they don't live so long. And what kind of enjoyment is that? He eats unmentionable things, and he's eaten by humans and other animals. So that's how Maya works. She puts the living entities in so much bewilderment that they think they're happy here. They're trying to be satisfied. Sometimes they tell the devotees, you're too pessimistic. Because the devotee said, there's no happiness here. Everybody has to die. And they say, oh, too pessimistic. Maybe so. They say, maybe something will work out. Or at least you can enjoy while you have the time, have the opportunity. You can get a lot of pleasure in the material world. How much pleasure can you get from a piece of sugar cane that's been chewed by umpteen persons? How much pleasure do you get? No pleasure. So punas charvata charvananam. Prahlad Maharaj says, this trying to live in the material world and enjoy is chewing the chewed. It's already been chewed up. And someone else tries to chew. No taste left. We should see that. We should learn that. One who reads the Vedas and he takes them seriously, all the questions to life are solved. What am I supposed to do? Tells you what you're supposed to do. Tato Brahma Jigyasa. Inquire into the spirit. Who is God? Who are you? What is nature? What's the purpose? How to get out of this thing? How to enjoy life? These questions are all asked, all answered by the Vedas. Everything's answered. Even to the point of how to worship different demigods, or how to try to enjoy different types of species, or how to prepare different medicines to make your body healthy. It's all described in the Vedas. Or how to protect oneself with so many weapons. We were hearing yesterday how there were some kings, and the king, he gave way. He decided to surrender to Pradyumna and Ugrasena because they were too powerful. He was a powerful king, but couldn't deal with them. So as a tribute, he was forced. He gave voluntarily, but it was forcible also. He gave away thousands and thousands of vimanas, airplanes that he had, millions of elephants, so many chariots, so many soldiers. So there is a science how to fight, also defend. And the Vedas have that. The Vedas describe how the universe is working, how the time factor is working. they give this information too. What happens to those living entities who stay in the material world? Even when the universe is closing up for the long breath of Mahavishnu, they close up for 311 trillion years approximately. But the living entities who didn't become pure devotees, they have to remain with the material elements in the body of Mahavishnu. It's a supti. They're not really, they're there. They're not really conscious, kind of like unconscious. It's not like they're enjoying themselves. It's practically inert. So that's not a very nice thing to look forward to. Everyone likes sleep, but that's going a little overdose, a little too much. Would you like to, if someone can give you the opportunity, you'd like to go to sleep for 311 trillion years? Wake you up in 300. Hey, have a nice rest now. Wake you up in, my friends, I'll wake you up in a couple hours. Okay. I'll wake you up in 311 trillion years. Wait a minute. I don't sleep that much. I know sleep's nice, but that's going a little too much. But that's what happens. They have to go through it. And then when they come out, it's like waking up from a dream. Okay, now I've got to do my work. I go to work today. I got to get some breakfast first, and I got to do this. I have to do all these things. So just foolishly going through again and again the cycle. This is samsara. It's a cycle of birth and death and old age and disease. So one should learn that this is not what we should be doing. That's not the solution. People are rushing around these cars, back and forth, airplanes, thinking that they're doing something important. What's so important? Well, I have to accomplish something in my life. I have to raise my family. I have to become well known as someone who will accomplish things. I have to get wealth so I can live comfortably. My family can live comfortably. My nation can live comfortably. But then everything is all washed away. Prabhupada tells a story about a man and his mother. They went to the marketplace, a huge marketplace. In India, they set up a market, huge market. So all the sellers were selling their agricultural and their crafts and things. So many people come there and they buy the things they like and they go home. So when the old mother, she was there with her son, she said, how am I going to feed all these people? Where am I going to put them all? And the son tried, oh, mother, don't worry. It'll all be taken care of. I promise you, everything will be taken care of. She was so worried. Anyway, she felt her son. And by the time the night came, everyone was gone. There was no market anymore. So that's what happens in the material world. Everybody comes, does their thing, and then they go home, go back. But that's not the real home. To be in Mahavishnu, that's, we're in the Lord and everything's controlled by the Lord. But that's not the recommended process, Krishna's saying. Don't stay inside me as Mahavishnu. Stay with me as a friend, as a lover, as a servant, but not trying to merge into me. The impersonalists, they want to merge into God and give up their individuality. That's a waste of time, because Krishna says, Sevaham Chatanasham Natam Neme Janadipa. There's never, the Lord says that you and I and all these kings have always existed in the past, present, and in the future. So there's no death, there's no merging. It's an eternal position we have as an individual Vibhinangsha. Radha Damodar explained that nicely the other day. Vibhinangsha and Angsha, there's different, and this Vangsha, different living entities, Binna, separated. They're separated in one sense, in that they can act as they wish, all of them. But those who are good souls, who are wise, by coming in contact with wise people, Mahajano Yena Gatasavanta, they followed the Mahajans, then they don't have to go through this suffering again and again, life and birth and death. They just live forever. As we learned last night from the Gita class, with a thrill at every moment, enjoying a thrill at every moment. Thrill, that means something exciting. They say cheap thrills because they imitate. But really a thrill is something so exciting. And if you had a thrill every moment, how can he do that? How can the Lord? That's very easy for him. He's got unlimited intelligence how to give the pleasure to the living entities. And if you want material pleasure, he's got varieties of that, as we discussed. So much so that every hog likes to eat stool. He's made a species of their tongue. You couldn't tell the tongue of a hog from any other species. You wouldn't be able to figure out why they enjoy such disgusting things, taste. But that's the Lord's ability. He can make a thrill at every moment. Even in the material world, they try to get thrills, but it's unpleasant. They're trying to get a thrill every moment. And the Lord cooperates as far as possible. Fine, here, take this body. He's such a fool. He wants to enjoy it. It's disgusting. All right. There's one species that if you have that body, you'll be able to get some enjoyment. Or a fish, or eat anything. So, Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Kevala Visharabandha. And then it says that lifetime after lifetime, Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Pasana, he wants to enjoy this system of sense gratification or speculation. And in every species, he's eating abominable things. So it's time to give that up, finish up our business in this lifetime. Kamadina katina katidam palidam Durnidesh. I've been serving these bad masters, lust and greed, lifetime after lifetime, and they never give me no pasha. They don't give me any relief. They don't give me any love, kindness. They're bad masters. But recently, I've come in contact with the devotees of Vishnu, and they told me that I can go back to Godhead by devotional service. So that's what I want. So please save me. Praise the Lord. Take me out of this place. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any purport? Any comments?
Thank you so much, Marsh. You mentioned about how the illusion is so thick that we thinking that we possess some very beautiful object and will enjoy forever. And I was thinking about how Prabhupada describes that this illusion is that we think the husband or the family man, he thinks that, yes, I have a beautiful wife and she is my wife and I have a home. It's my home and my children. And he thinks that he's the master of everything that is in relation to his body. And yet he slaves away working day and night, lower than a Shudra, for little pay and doing so many austerities as the so-called master. And he usually serves a dog or some cats and has to work very hard to serve them. And this is illusion. So very thick covering that we are under. And by the great fortune of meeting the devotees, then we can pray to the Lord. Now we can pray to the Lord to let us give up the service of lust and anger and greed. And if the Lord is kind upon us, then he may bless us with the highest benediction of devotional service. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada